I've seen a wide selection of Beastmen Lords over the past month or so, watching their replays, but here's one I haven't seen yet, and it's of course Cathay, the One Eye, the OG meme Lord, one of the first Lords to be considered truly terrible. It's actually pretty good these days. He's got a 110 charge bonus on his chariot, of course, with Vanguard. He does have this Dark Mail, which gives him quite a bit of extra survivability in melee, and he also has some support abilities here, Apocalyptic Vision, which gives leadership and melee attack in an area of effect for the rest of the build. This one is from Rodin, the XMT Discord. We've got some Butchers of Kalkengard here, more Minotaurs with shields, some Razorgore herds also scattered around as well. Front line of some Gore herds with shields, looks like some Ungor herds mixed in there as well. I do see one Barrier Zangor there. As for Cathay, we've got Onyx Croman already sweeping in. It looks like Zhao Ming is going to be the Lord here with some Jade Warriors, Jade Crossbowmen, Peasant Horsemen, and Jade Lancers with one Grand Cannon, it looks like. Yep, lots of cavalry and infantry. Nice combined arms Cathay build, although we'll see. Protecting those stationary ranged units can be very tough against the Beastmen. There isn't an insane amount of mobility in this Beastman build, but definitely lots of fast infantry and just general fast attack units that can get the job done. Ungor herd taking an absolute beating initially. And wow, look at these Croman drop down, just do some massive damage to those Ungor herd on the charge and are able to mostly pull away. Yeah, trade-wise, that's probably pretty close to even. Yeah, the Croman do take a decent amount of damage trying to get away there, so interesting stuff. You can see Cathay goes for the charge there against Zhao after he hard lands. Even though chariots are mostly meant against infantry, Cathay has such a high charge bonus on his chariot, up to 125 with that Primal Fury. Ooh, something. What was bumping up his charge bonus? No, it's the lore attribute here. Yes, the Bestial Surge, of course, the lore attribute for Beastmen, refreshes Vigor and also increases charge bonus, but he can charge it into single entities with that high of a charge bonus, and the Razorgore on the front does some attack animations, which can be absolutely devastating, so let's watch for that here. As the rest of the Beastman build closes in, it looks like Zhao is going to pop back up in the air, but Cathay can definitely just get rolling against some of this infantry as well to start generating some value. But yeah, Zhao actually doesn't get back up to the air. Instead, charges in here to these Razorgores, enrages them. Bray Shaman kind of rear charges him. Cathayr's going to get things going in the front line, drops a little Apocalyptic Vision on these Ungor herd, juice up their leadership and melee attacks. They'll stay in the fight, up to 46 melee attack. Don't have the best armor piercing damage, but they'll still get some damage in. As Cathay punches through the line there, he's going to get inundated in the back line and kind of caught up on some cavalry units. But let's see, it looks like Beastman's starting to turn the flank on the far side, bring some Razorgore herds, Centaurs around the flank to start rear charging here. Onyx Croman kind of just hanging out for the time being, but a couple of waves of Zangors and the Gore herds also following up into this breach. You know, rather than overblobbing in these other locations, Ronan just continuing to press his resources where he has an advantage, get in this back line, start to disrupt some of these ranged units. Zhao comes in, start to fight Cathay, but considering Cathay's damage resistance buff, yeah, he should be able to survive reasonably well here. He's definitely going to be taking some damage, but he won't get bursted down super fast. Really nice Traderkin as well, also hits Zhao Ming in his big old pocket of cavalry and whatnot. Grand Cannon will also do some decent damage to that, so he's been pressing that advance here in the middle and continuing the terror route. Looks like, yeah, Razorgore herds swinging up and around the side as well, looking to collapse those Jade Crossbowmen. The armor-piercing damage and decent charge of the Razorgores to makes them just super ideally suited for this matchup. For taking out those cheaper armored ranged units and just armored units in general. That being said, the Beastman's infantry is having a hard time staying in the fight to support, and even the Minotaurs are starting to take pretty considerable damage, all things considered. You know, they're just incidental hits. Crossbows are doing a decent job of focus firing on them as well. But terror kicks in from the Butchers of Kalkengard on a number of Cathayan units here, and the herd is able to continue the stampede, keep rolling up these ranged units. Let's get in close. Watch some of these poor Jade Crossbowmen get raffle stomped by some angry pigs. Nice magics coming through as well. Cathay unleashes from the blob. Beautiful rear charge here into these, yeah, these Jade Warriors. Gonna be doing some nice splash attack damage and impact damage there. You can see the health just continuing to trickle down. Nice, another nice charge from the Bray Shaman there, getting in the side, kind of. Yeah, Bray Shaman's doing a decent job. He's on the less expensive, less powerful chariot, but still is quite good. The Razor Tusk, is it called? I forget. Anyway, yeah, Bushes of Kalkengard also still have plenty of healing cap space left. They have lost a decent amount of unit models, but they still have plenty of capacity to heal those that do remain. Jade Lancer's also caught in a very tough position in the woods here with Centaurs and Minotaurs, however you want to pronounce it. To be honest, I don't really care. People sometimes get super hung up on pronunciations in the comments. I am not one of those people, if you couldn't tell. Sometimes it's fun to mispronounce things on purpose just to, you know, give those people a run for their money, so to speak. But anyway, we're going to see some shattering here. The Jade Lancers and Razor Gore Herds also collapsing there on those Jade Crossbowmen, making sure they stay routed. We do have some Cathayans regaining their leadership here. The Onyx Crossbowmen, these other units can perhaps start to shore up. Press a little advance here. Xiaoming himself also still quite healthy as the Zangors follow through their heavy armor, allowing them to shrug off some more damage here. Kazarak looking very shiny, it must be said. They said they fixed the flickering in the recent hotfix, which, I'll be honest, I haven't really done a lot of, like, super close actual zoom-ins, like camera zooms. Like, check this out. Okay. But previously, I would have done this, and you would have seen some horrible flickering on the ground textures and stuff, but now it's actually looking pretty decent. Kazarak gets in there with the Zangors, and he is going to take a little bit of damage. There's no Final Transmutation available to Zhao while he's in his dragon form. I didn't catch if he even had it anyway, but definitely would be a solid choice for busting up a blob of Minotaurs, and in particular the Beastmen. I mean, I guess they can take Morgar in this matchup, who's relatively snipe-proof, but pretty much everyone besides Morgar would be quite vulnerable to Final Transmutation, so I'm kind of surprised not to see it being unleashed by Cathay here, but that said, they're just falling back, trying to, you know, regain these crossbows into a position they can fire. Oh yeah, Kazarak. I don't know if he got the charge actually off there. Xiaoming, of course, is going to have the Van Braces. Maybe. Does it not show when he's in dragon form? Anyway. Possible he doesn't. Oh no, he does have the Burning Van Braces. Okay, so he should be getting that healing proc. Oh, if he hasn't already. Looks like he already did. Wow, okay, so Ward Save is currently active, and the healing should be incoming. So we'll watch for that. But the rest of the army is definitely struggling. Nice Trader Kid to try and speed his leadership off before that effect procs. Did the healing not go off? I'm so confused. Okay, so I guess the heal did go off. Oh, actually, the heal goes off first. Okay, I'm confused on how this thing actually works. But yeah, he's just going to get wrecked there by the blob of Minotaurs. And Kazarak juicing them up with his demise. That will be the absolute end of the Cathay build. They're going to very quickly face army losses. They would be able to survive this assault anyway of all these heavy, horned monsters. Very horned monsters, if you will. Absolutely beautiful. I love the color scheme, too, that blue and white color scheme. For both sides, honestly, but especially for the Beastmen, obviously. Great job by Ronan here, showing Kazarak can be useful even in... yeah, I would say this matchup is one where Beastmen, at least on paper, for me, have a pretty good matchup against Cathay. They're probably one of the toughest outs for Cathay, like just on paper in terms of the faction setups. Beastmen very fast, very hard hitting, great armor piercing, you know, great ability to kind of get your opponent off balance and kind of pick their formation apart, which is Cathay's biggest weakness, right? And we saw that play out here to a large degree. Credit to Ronan, you know, following up his breaks, just piling more troops into the breach, and as a result is able to get some pretty nice value spread across the army here, especially on these armor-piercing troops, which is not particularly surprising, but still, Kazarak himself, even carrying 1,600 value, he's relatively cheap as well. We'll actually check his cost after this. But on Cathay's side, I mean, obviously, Onyx Crowmen are pretty decent, even if they weren't used particularly perfectly here. I think maybe their usage could have been a little bit better in staying tight in that, protecting that formation. But yeah, overall, pretty decent job by Sipa here. Trying to defend. Ronan's definitely a very strong player, so defending against his Beastman Assault is definitely not going to be early, but yeah, let's just quickly double check the cost on Kazarak, because his melee potential is actually pretty good, and in the right circumstance, he definitely can shine. Also pretty cheap, all things considered. Where's Kazarak? Yeah, 1650. Even, I mean, fully kitted out, it's only 2150. Most likely, you're not going to take Deadly Onslaught. You're just going to take Apocalyptic Vision, although it is kind of hilarious. If you have the gold for it, can actually be one of the best characters to take it on because he has such a high charge bonus already. But then, yeah, definitely Dark Mail. Again, Scourge, not really one that is worth taking in my opinion. But just with this basic kit, 1800 is really not too bad for something with this much combat potential. I mean, granted, no healing. He's a little bit vulnerable to certain kinds of sniping. But if he can stay on the move, he can definitely get some insane damage done, and pretty decent for support as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, though. What's your preferred matchup for Kazarak, or do you just always blow him to smithereens? If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.